I don't think it's restricted, by the way, to Mr. Trump. I mean, I find it interesting that everybody's focused on Trump primarily just because he says in more interesting ways what the other candidates are saying as well. And so he may up the ante in anti-Muslim sentiment, but if you look at what
the other two former presidents entered the same arena that night, but the moment was never only about policy or legacy. It was about dominance, about narrative control, about who could command the space when pressure mounted and the light stayed unforgiving. Donald Trump arrived with the familiar force people expected. Shoulders firm, chin raised, projecting the confidence of a man convinced the stage answers to him. Barack Obama entered another way, slower, deliberate, almost quiet, like someone who understood that restraint can outweigh volume. What started as a discussion on leadership quickly
love that man. The kind of person who should be in politics. He's a veteran, he's a teacher, he's a coach, he's a hunter, been a great governor, knows who he is and knows what's important. You can tell those flannels.
The moderator barely completed the opening rules before Trump leaned in and seized the moment. He spoke rapidly, stacking accomplishments, repeating well-worn victories, framing his presidency as an uninterrupted sequence of success. Jobs, borders, trade, strength, each word delivered without pause, leaving no space for interruption. The audience reacted in fragments, brief applause, uncertain murmurs, but Trump pressed on as if motion itself validated his point. He dismissed caution, mocked careful phrasing, and reduced leadership to immediate action.
Let me just tell you, we started off with empty cupboards. The last administration left us nothing. We started off with bad, broken tests and obstacles.
Then he responded in a voice so steady it demanded attention. He said, "Leadership without trust doesn't last. Results built without credibility collapse the moment they're tested." It wasn't loud, but it shifted the atmosphere. The rhythm slowed. The audience, once reacting in bursts, grew quiet enough to listen. Obama didn't chase Trump's speed. He altered the pace completely. Trump laughed, but the confidence behind it was thinner now. He fired back, calling Obama a performer, someone skilled in speeches rather than outcomes. He repeated himself louder, expecting volume to restore control. But the room didn't fully return. The contrast was unmistakable now. One voice pushing forward, the other pulling the moment into clarity. Then Obama made a small but decisive move. He picked up a note card, glanced briefly, and changed direction. He referenced Trump's own public remarks on loyalty, about family, about prioritizing those closest to you above all else. He didn't accuse. He asked, at what point does loyalty stop being strength and start becoming protection from accountability? The question carried more weight than an insult ever could. It didn't attack. It revealed a boundary that had never been clearly defined. Trump reacted immediately. His tone sharpened. He accused Obama of twisting words, hiding behind selective memory. He tried to frame the question as unfair, but the response itself revealed strain. For the first time, he wasn't guiding the exchange. Obama stayed still, hands calm, eyes forward, letting the reaction pass. Then he spoke about responsibility, about the difference between serving the public and shielding a personal circle. He said, leadership requires separation, that decisions cannot revolve around loyalty alone. The room remained quiet, not from agreement, but from recognition. Trump shifted, interrupting again, but each interruption now sounded less like command and more like resistance. The moderator stepped in briefly, steering the discussion toward how family shapes leadership. Trump took the opening, returning to familiar ground. Family is strength, he said. It defines you, motivates you, protects you. His confidence resurfaced, framing loyalty as the core of who he is. It was a strong answer on its face, one that drew nods across the room. Obama agreed, but only in part. He acknowledged the value of family, then carefully reframed it. Strength becomes complicated when it shields power from scrutiny. He spoke about public expectation, legacy, and the difficulty of separating personal ties from public duty. He wasn't rejecting the idea. He was drawing its limits. Then came the moment that changed the room. Obama placed a sheet of paper on the table between them. Not forcefully, not theatrically, just enough to pull attention. He described it as a timeline, a series of statements and moments where loyalty had been used as justification. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't directly accuse. He simply asked how those moments aligned with accountability. The room froze. Trump's reaction was immediate and intense. He pushed back, voice rising, pointing, rejecting the premise outright. He called it inappropriate, unfair, an attack that crossed the line. But the reaction had already done its work. The calm on one side and the escalation on the other created a contrast no argument could erase. Obama stayed seated, posture unchanged. He answered quietly, saying that when personal loyalty interferes with public responsibility, it stops being private. It becomes national. The audience didn't erupt. It absorbed. Trump stood fully now, frustration visible, dismissing the exchange entirely. He accused Obama of disrespect, of narrative manipulation, of turning leadership into accusation. But the room no longer moved with him as it had earlier. The shift was complete. What once felt like control now felt like reaction. Obama delivered one final line, measured, controlled, about truth, responsibility, and the cost of avoiding difficult questions. It wasn't dramatic. It didn't need to be. Trump turned away and left the stage, cameras tracking every step. The studio didn't explode right away. It paused. Then came the reaction, mixed, loud, divided, but undeniable. Obama remained seated for a moment, letting the weight settle. He didn't celebrate. He didn't chase